Okay, so I'm back before I cut off, but let's get straight to it. This is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 26. It says, "Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry hosts one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing." Right? So when you look at the heavens, you look at the planets, you look at the galaxies, all that has a very specific way as to how it's created. Everything has a intelligence, and in order for that to take place, it's not a coincidence, as they say nowadays, how, oh, we're just the product of coincidence and the Big Bang, and that we came from nothing, and just a giant coincidence. Which that's insane, because when you look at the very nature, the very laws of how we live, of our planet, of our existence, nothing can ever come, or something can never come from nothing, right? Even these scientists tell you that it's the law of energy is not created or destroyed, it's transferred. So just with that very logic, how is it that something came from nothing? That's their whole theory of the Big Bang, which the answer is that was not the case. This came from the Most High, and that's that energy being transferred. That's the whole creation story. So, very nature, this very world, when you look at how everything is perfectly in place, how, our planet spins, and, the distance of the sun to the earth is perfectly, at a point where we don't burn up or, freeze to death. All that is calculated, and it's from the Lord. So let's read this in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 11. It says, "Then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds, and it was so. The land produced vegetation, and God saw that it was good." Right? So when you look at, the plants, the vegetables, the fruits, how every single fruit has a reproductive system, essentially, with the seed. There's a structure to everything. When you look at mammals, how mammals, every single one of them almost breastfeeds. It's just yeah, it's the same repeatable phenomenon. So I just want to make a quick video going into that, showing you that nothing is coincidence. And I'm gonna ask ChatGPT something. Isn't our very creation proof that there is a God? How complex everything is. Let's see what AI says. Right, absolutely. That's one of the deepest arguments people have used for thousands of years. It's often called the argument from design, or the teleological argument. The idea is the sheer complexity, order, and beauty of creation, from galaxies to DNA, is evidence of an intelligent creator. The Bible itself makes this point. "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well." This shows how even our true own bodies, intricate, delicate, purposeful, testify to God's handiwork. A simple way to put it, our very existence is too intricate to be an accident. The human body, ecosystem, the fine-tuning of the universe, all points to a designer who not only created, but sustains life. And it says, you want some examples of scientific fine-tuning? Yes, let's see what it spits out. The constants of the universe. If gravity were slightly stronger or weaker, stars couldn't form or burn too fast for life. If the ratio of the electromagnetic force to gravity were off by even 1/10 to the 37th, no stable star's chemistry would exist. That's like throwing a dart at a board across the universe and hitting a bullseye. Look at that, man. Earth is in the Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold. Like I said, it is a large moon that stabilizes our tilt, which stabilizes climate, A magnetic field protects us from solar radiation, right? The Van Allen belt is part of that. The atmosphere has a perfect mix of gases to support life. Many scientists note that this is astoundingly rare. DNA is like a software code, a four-letter alphabet, ATCG, that carries blueprints for building life. The human genome has 3 billion letters. Bill Gates once said DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software ever created. Look at that. Even a single cell is like a miniature city with molecular motors, information copying machines, energy factories, mitochondria, and recycling systems. Even if a few parts fail, the system collapses. Albert Einstein. The more I study science, the more I believe in God. When you look from the perspective of a scientist at the universe, it looks as if it knew we were coming. A common sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a super intellect has monkeyed with physics as well as with chemistry and biology. And then Romans 1 and 20, God's invisible qualities have been clearly seen, being understood from what was been made. So, the intricate design of creation is God's signature. And in everything you can see the Most High. That's why his name is Yahweh, because he is everything. So, just wanted to put a couple words on that topic. The nature shows you the Most High is real. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rokakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone. The time is truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.